Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. We're back. Everyone thought we were dead. And I got a notification. Hold on. Everyone thought we were dead. But guess what? We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a full barn today. We got the whole kit and caboodle here for the Boiler Express podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the ultimate boiler is in the house. We have Chris, chief of law, who's also playing NCAA 25 right now.
Yeah, because I got to make up a game for Dynasty.
And then we got, what's his name? Russ. Yeah, we have Russ here. Make sure you thank a veteran this week. It's a big week for those who fought in World War II, like our guy Russ. Jesus. And then you have the biggest brain in the game today, who's also very hydrated, the stat tank, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Frank. How we doing, boys? It's good to be back. All right, great.
Wow, that's
I know. I'm so good. So good. It is great to be back. It's great to be back.
Yeah.
Frank,
I'm so good to be back.
Up? Are you up and at 'em there?
I am. I'm up.
Oh, you got a new desk during our sabbatical.
And I can do calf raises on this thing. It's great, man.
Have you guys seen not only his desk, but have you seen the ungodly large monitor that he has in his office?
It's bigger than my future.
man.
I thought you were going to say, have you seen his calves? Have you seen them?
Those
I have a buddy of mine who has one of those 49-inch wide screens. They're crazy.
49.
I don't know why I said it the way I did.
It's 9-inch wide, but it's in 4D. That's like
I don't know why I am the way I am, but
you got to wear 3D glasses whenever you use it. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But
the way I am.
But boys, we got things to talk about. For however else people feel about it, football season is upon us. I know I put a feeler out on the podcast Twitter and I said, how we feeling it? And people, if we get 2 wins, apparently that's a big deal for our fan base. And that's a tough spot to be in. But that's kind of just reality, and that's where we at.
It was the IU fan who said we were going to get 1 win. So
yeah, no wonder. They think they're the damn Patriots now, and they
must be a big Ball State fan too.
Yeah, or Indiana State. They have the reversible 3-time jacket that somehow does that.
Well, I'm saying because we play Ball State this year, Dylan. Have you seen the schedule yet?
I haven't. No, I haven't. Actually, I went on the OHIO podcast, and Eric has a pretty good rundown before you go on that he sends you. And wasn't that one part that wasn't a part of the rundown was like asking about each individual like group. And I'm like, position group. And so he's like, and what about the DBs? And I'm on like swiping for the roster on my phone. And I'm like, yeah, there's this. He's a freshman. He's a freshman. Like, oh no. So I sound like a bumbling idiot, but luckily it was pre-recorded, so we can doctor that up a little bit. But boys,
Dylan, is it okay if I just run through some of the highlights here and the things I saw,
please,
and the responses?
I would be honored.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I said it feels like we're just kind of back to the lackadaisical mindset, given the last 2 seasons, and so I really don't know what to expect. There's one here that says cautiously optimistic. I think the biggest difference is that we have a competent coach. Our buddy Greg said likely sub 500, but we'll surprise a couple of teams. Got Vinny in the house. Vinny, how you doing, man?
Vinny.
But there's it seems the general sentiment is like 3 to 4 wins. Someone did ask Grok, is that how you say it, Grok, to predict how many games we'll win. Grok actually said Purdue will win 3 to 4 games. So
wow.
Keep an eye on that.
Let's go.
See what the AI has to offer there. But yeah, and there was the lone IU.
AI is artificial intelligence, by the way.
Allen Iverson, the answer?
yeah.
I told my 3rd grade class that, and I was like, yeah, Allen Iverson. And they're like, what? Excuse me.
And you died inside.
And I died, yeah.
Apathy seems to be the big kind of apathy, indifferent, or like probably the most common words as I scroll through all the responses here, which we did get a good number of those. So just wanted to throw that out there before we start talking about it. But that's how people are feeling.
Coach, I remember Coach Odom posted a picture of like the steps leading up to Ross Aid, and it was like 70 days away. And I was like, I remember I quoted it with like a gift that said, "I want to believe in you." And it's like, I think that's where I'm kind of at too, is like, I want to believe, I want to be excited. But yeah, last year kind of really, I think really put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, because that was rough. And it wasn't even like we weren't talented. I mean, a lot of the guys that transferred out, or they're playing at Oregon, they're playing at Clemson, they're playing at Ohio State. They are they're touted as like some of the top, ranked players in their position coming into this fall. So, yeah, I mean, I want to believe. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said on the OHIO pod. I was like, when Walters came in, I was like, yeah, let's go. But I'm going to do that with every coach, because why, as a fan, would I have a new coach come in and be like, I don't know about this guy? Like, I don't know. I'm more of an optimistic fella. So that's what kind of what I said on the OHIO pod, among other things. Vinny says, got to win first two, and then Northwestern is a must win on the road. Stadium holds about what, 15,000? I
That's
think
right.
more marine animals than humans that stadium holds, being on
Yeah,
the lake.
Because it doubles with Shed Aquarium up there, right?
Yeah, like then it could be millions. You could just lie. But yeah, that stadium's weird. I kind of want to go just to see it, but tickets probably going to be a little hard to get.
Yep. I think for next year, I am. So, like, I know this is probably a surprise, but I'm always an optimist. But I definitely think that I like the mentality. Coach Odom seems like he's that workman lunch pail type that fits the Purdue mold, and his style of being, for like a better way to put it, just fits Purdue better, I think. Back to the Danny Hopes, the Joe Tillers, of the world that just came in and went to work, right? And I think he's done a really good job recruiting, given everything that's going on. He's made some good moves in the transfer portal,
especially the late portal. The spring portal was huge.
Yeah. What the hell?
For anybody who's not watching the live video right now, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Dylan's microphone arm just completely came off of his desk.
I went to push it up a little bit. It all just came off. We're good. I think
it's been a while, y'all. It's been a while.
Yeah, our podcast mics. We all do have the same microphone now. That's impressive.
Damon good thing you're on mute, right? Yeah, that would have been jarring for those.
So back to my thought process there. Before we were derailed. Ha. No,
we're back, guys.
Yeah, we're back. So I think there's reason for optimism. I think there's 6 wins there in that schedule. I know it's tough. Obviously, like a big one are the first 2. Notre Dame is going to be tough. It always is, but we played Notre Dame really close the last handful of seasons.
Not last year.
Not like yes.
Just to throw that out there, yeah.
Yes.
Like the worst loss in program history.
Yeah, we didn't play anyone close the last few years, but didn't play anyone close last year. But
Illinois, Northwestern,
Michigan.
Okay.
Are we really trying to find positives from last year?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Chris, I'm the eternal optimist, but we didn't play anybody close ever.
I mean, really.
That's Damon. That kind of like segues into where I am on this thing, and that like there's so much that we lost, coach, players, that everything's just a big question mark. Like it's gonna take. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get up to speed to know who's who and like what to expect from who. It's like, okay, who made that tackle? There's going to be some of that for me. I mean, there always is, especially in the era of the transfer portal. So I just, you look at what Coach Cigarette did. I'm not saying that's, what's going to happen, but everything's up in the air right now. So any possibility, like a 2-win team, just assuming win the first 2 games, or a 10-win team, like I just see those as equal outcomes until further evidence presents itself, is the way I kind of think about it.
What I'm really interested to see is that, because I think at first, a lot of the excitement that people had when Barry Odom came to Purdue was the hope that his offensive coordinator was coming with him. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I just remember he ran the go-go offense, what they called it. Yeah. And now he's the head coach at Sacramento State, I think. I think he's there, but
that sounds right.
that was, I think, a lot of what people were excited about when it came to Barry Odom. And I mean, we have an offensive coordinator from USC, so that's exciting. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the coaching staff that he put together is really good. Like getting Memphis's defensive back coach and both the offensive defensive coordinators that came in have a lot of experience. None of this is like, or not very many. I can't think of very many anyway, like first time coaches or anything like that. It's guys who have perfected their craft for a long time. And I think that was a genius move.
And Vinny loves the O-line coach, as he lets us know here. So that's good to know, Vinny. Yeah, we value your opinion quite a bit. So thanks for sharing.
I'm kind of excited to see how special teams is, because our special teams coach that he brought with him from UNLV apparently is pretty dang good, and that's always been like a pretty sore spot. Didn't matter who was coaching Purdue. So
special teams, special plays.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't catch it, I was on the college huddle or the Big Ten huddle with Zach Guggenheim.
Oh, I missed that one.
Talking about Purdue. Yeah, I'm surprised, Dylan. I'm shocked. I thought that'd been scheduled appointment TV for you.
Normally it is.
But running out our schedule, there's really only like 3 games, at Notre Dame, at Michigan, and then home against Ohio State that pretty much take a small miracle or maybe even a big miracle to pull those games off. Obviously, Ball State and Southern Illinois to start the season, we should start 2-0. But after that, the other 7 games on the schedule are all gettable. Like they're not, it doesn't take a ton, I think, to get back competitive in the Big Ten and get back to a bowl game. I mean, we got USC at home coming all the way across the country, and they were 500 last year. They beat A&M in the bowl game to get to 7-6, but they were 500. Illinois, we always play close, and that's a home game. At Minnesota, they were 5-7 last year and got lucky going to bowl game. Northwestern is never that great, and like Vinny said, there's like 15,000 fans in the stand. Rutgers has not been a football power like for a long time, and that's at home. It's homecoming. At Washington, that's gonna be tough to make the trip across country. And then Indiana at home, it's still a rivalry game. That last season was still a flash in the pan, and they got a lot of new pieces. So they got to be able to, switch out all 5 dice Yahtzee style and hope that they can repeat it. And chances are that's probably not going to happen. So
I want to ask about Washington.
Do you like that Yahtzee reference? I saw.
Yeah. First it was flash in the pan, and I was trying to figure out what that meant, and then it was Yahtzee, and I'm like, good, the old man. And now you know why I call you an old man.
Jeez.
How do you all envision that game for Washington going?
Well, I mean, you see what happened last year. They went from being in the playoff to struggling to make a bowl game. So I think they're
from a coaching personnel standpoint is what I'm getting at.
Walters is their DC.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I mean,
we may score 100.
Oh my
God. So all right, he's gonna clip that.
Yeah, but here's my thing, right?
Great.
Like Walters was a great defensive coordinator. I see a lot of parallels, and I could see this with Walters, right? That kind of like what happened with Barry Odom. He got into a head coaching position pretty young, ended up getting fired, goes back, ends up being a coordinator, and then builds his way up through the ranks like Odom's way, and ends up being a fantastic coach.
But didn't Barry Odom do a lot better at Missouri than Walters did at Purdue?
Yes, he did. And talking to some Missouri fans that I know, they said they'd love to have him back. And I think the big reason they got rid of him is because 6-6, 7-5 wasn't good enough, and they wanted to compete with the Alabama, the Georgia, the LSU, and the SEC. So
man, give me 7-5 every time.
Yeah, I'm glad Chris started bringing up the game plan there, because that's the big difference to me this year with Barry Odom is, and Walters kind of hinted at it, and of course, on the way out the door, he wanted to act like the fans turn on, and everybody did him wrong, and nobody gave him a chance, and blah blah whatever. But like when he first started, he talked a lot about how hard it was to juggle recruiting and the fundraising and building a game plan and getting coaches in place. And I know a lot of people too said that when he was a defensive coordinator, he had a really good year the last year in Illinois, but other years he had some top 30 defenses, some top 50 defenses, but that one big year at Illinois is kind of what vaulted him into the Purdue job. So I don't know that he goes in Washington and makes that defense great the first year, right? Like a lot of his first years as defensive coordinators, the defenses were like 100th or worse. So I don't think that that's
Well, and how many
you know,
NFL players did he have? 2, 3?
right. His last year in Illinois,
Yeah.
yeah, he had a first round and a
Yeah.
second round and a third round pick, I think, in the draft
Yeah.
the year after he left Illinois. But yeah, I think Barry Odom is going to be, you know, it is a, you know, quote unquote rebuild. But you saw what happened with IU last year, and you've seen a lot of teams. I know IU's that's a really outlier example because they went all the way to the college football playoff. But there's a lot of
And they had a
teams
cupcake schedule.
that wiped their
Yeah.
roster. Yeah, cupcake schedule. But there's a lot of teams that wiped their roster and then went to a bowl game the next year.
Yeah.
And I think that's more what Purdue fans are hoping that we can get lined up this year is just not a, you know, CFP 10, 11 win season, but just get turned around and get to a bowl game. You know, like I said, there's those 7 toss-up games that, you know, you can drop 2 of them and you got to take care of the other 5, or actually, sorry, 3 of them, take care of the other 4, and that gets you 6 wins. So
Yeah, I think these are all good points. So are you basically chalking the at Michigan and Ohio State at home games up as just we're just going to write those off as L's?
I mean, yeah, you can't really count on those. Yeah, I don't think so. You got to.
But one night, 2018, Russ, don't ever forget.
Oh
We
yeah,
made-
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Are we
And I think
officially?
if you told a Purdue fan to,
we can't
you know-
talk about that anymore. Have we
No,
gotten
I'm going to talk about it till I'm dead. You can.
there? Yeah.
I was there, seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah, it was, dude. There was magic in the air. Magic.
It was better than my wedding day. Way better. Not even close.
So we got a comment here from Vinny, whose opinion you can wait to. He said the biggest problem Walters had was he was wearing too many hats, had really bad hires. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a Matt Painter quote and said that if you have to oversee everything, then there's something wrong with you or you don't have the right people in place.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which it was, or maybe a combination of both. But when I heard Painter say that, it was on a business podcast of all things.
It's yeah.
It hit home with me.
It's really cool when you hire all the young up and coming coaches and it works out. You know, like it's cool to show a picture of the coaching staff like we did when Walters made all those hires and was like, dude, look at this. All these guys are under the age of 35 or 32. This is great. But then when it doesn't work out, people go, well, yeah, no shit, it didn't work out. Like none of them had any experience, and they were a lot of them were in new roles or roles that they didn't have at higher, you know, P4 schools. And it's like, of course it didn't work out. And Barry Odom is hiring all these guys that are experienced at Power 4 schools. So it could be night and day difference.
Well, and Barry Odom's experience as a head coach.
Right.
Too, which, you know, not knocking on Walters, he didn't have that coming in. Not saying that played into how things, you know, went, but definitely didn't help for sure. Yeah. So football, how do you guys feel? Like what is the threshold for improvement in your all's eyes? Is it okay? Well, I'm going to go ahead and squash that expectation now, Dylan. But I mean, is it being competitive in every game? Is it a certain record? I mean, boy, I like it, dude. Boilers by a billion.
Trademark.
But like, for me, that was the biggest problem with last season. It wasn't the record. Yes, the record was a problem. It was the fact that we looked like we didn't even belong in a lot of the games outside of Illinois. But like, what is the threshold for like, okay, the ball's starting to roll now. Like we're starting to feel good about where things are.
So I know that like us as a fan base, we can kind of dog on each other because it seems like we're just never happy. However, I think that Purdue fans are somewhat easy to please in the sense that like if you just are competitive, if you just play hard, if you just play with a chip on your shoulder, and you go out there and you compete and you work your ass off, and it's like somewhat, you know, respectable to watch, Purdue fans will cheer you on. They'll. I mean, we literally showed up. I mean, what did we were close to averaging a sellout last year for a 1-11 team.
Yeah.
So I think that just like showing up to compete, and it's like objectively, how do you define what that looks like? I don't know, but just like not getting blown out by 30 plus every game would be a great start. So yeah.
Yes.
I'd say at least 4 wins, you know, the first season, 4 wins, but also Barry Odom's coming in here saying this is not going to be a rebuild. We're going to win right away, which I think is very interesting that he's saying that right off the rip. I love the confidence.
Accountability.
Yeah. So,
but also at the same time, I think it's super interesting too. Like we just don't know a lot, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen anything from the spring game or spring whatever that thing was called. Like I
Very
know,
little.
Well, half the guys in that showcase transferred anyway. So
Yeah, that's true.
That's valid.
Yeah, the spring showcase.
Spring showcase, yeah. So like I don't know really anything about this team. The team could be friggin' light years ahead and doing great things. We wouldn't know.
we know one thing. We know who's carrying the rock.
Right.
Who's got the first touch.
That's pretty much the only thing we know at this point. It's pretty much the only person we can say, yes, they are definitely starting and they're going to play a major role in the team. Like everything else, like, we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but reminds me of the Braum era for sure.
Oh God, no.
We didn't know until like week 5.
Hey, first of all, I would take Sindelar and Blau back in a heartbeat.
Oh, blue collar, both of them. Love them to death.
What about Caleb Turbush? Would you like him back? Right
Ooh.
now?
There's
some
a
memories,
reach in
you
the
know?
old Pat. Good Lord. I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Yeah, Robert Marv, all those guys.
Robert Marv. He's
So,
he's in
comment here.
jail.
Find it wild that we have one returning starter. Is that it? Is that the total number?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Devin Maccabee's the only returning starter.
That's
I mean, if you
Well,
would have said there was
no,
less
no.
than 5, I wouldn't question that at all. But I'm pulling up the.
None of
depth
Morris
chart.
started some, but if he wouldn't started,
yeah.
he
I mean,
played
yeah,
it.
he didn't.
And there's
he,
Ahmad
Armand Branch.
Armad Branch, yeah.
I mean, but neither of those guys were.
Yeah, he barely played last
legit
year.
starters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, as I'm sitting here looking, so right now Ryan Brown is.
Well,
is
yeah,
listed
He
as a
started.
starter
Yeah,
on
he
the
started a
depth
game.
chart.
Technically,
He started 2 games. Remember, because there was that one game where it was like, it'd be hard to not start Ryan Brown after how well he played.
you had a cup of coffee with Belichick and his girlfriend. Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan.
Crazy good.
and said, "I'm going
Well,
back."
I don't
to
know,
town and West
Dylan.
Lafayette." Yeah.
They could both be. So, hey, welcome in, Jr. Good to have you
Eric,
here,
no,
man.
I think that's Eric. He just keeps forgetting to log out of the college huddle account.
So yeah, if
That's
we count Ryan Brown, yeah, I mean
half.
that's really those are really the only 2.
Yeah.
And like what an awesome name, Crew Wakely is starting at safety supposedly as of right now. So that'll be fun.
Did anybody else find it interesting that for the Big Ten Media Day, Ryan Brown did not go? They didn't bring a quarterback. It was Devin Mockbee, it was Cameron Grimes, and it was CJ Madden. Found that very interesting.
Well, to
Yeah.
me, that says those are 3 guys they know are going to be impact players, and right now we don't know who our quarterback is. It's my biggest takeaway from that. But yes,
I think
that's kinda weird.
I think had Brown not transferred, he'd probably go.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What
Yeah,
can Brown
some
do
guys
for
that I
you?
wrote down a while back that were returning that were in the 2 deep. I know, like our starters, they changed a lot last year too. So I don't know what people are going off of based off. I guess that they're saying if last year's team was healthy, who the starters would have been. But if you remember, we had a ton of injuries last year too. You know, that
A
was
lot.
part of the problem.
Taylor's
That's part
oldest
of
time.
why people gave Walters some rope as late into the season as what they did, is because they were like, dude, everybody's hurt. It's crazy. But, you know, on defense, we had guys like CJ Madden, Trey Smith, D'Amico Kennedy, Jamarian Harkless, Jamarius Dinkins, Winston Berglund. They were all in the 2 deep at different times, and they're coming back this year. Offensively, we obviously talked about Mockabee, Morissette, Branch, but George Burren had a great kind
He's had
of breakout.
flashes of greatness.
Yeah, he broke out the end of his freshman year, but then obviously last year it was all about Claire if they were going to have, you know, tight end targets. But you know, Jaheim Merriweather coming back, Joey Tenona, Jaden Ball. I said, what's his name? Kine Foley. I wrote his name down. I've never heard of that, but he was in the 2 deep and he's coming back. So I mean, we have a dozen or so guys that were in the 2 deep that are coming back. So that sounds a little bit better than one starter.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm excited. Somebody that I'm excited to see, because I thought they had flashes last year. They didn't play a whole lot, but when they were out there, I really liked watching them, which was Smiley Bradford. I'm
Mhm.
excited to see him play. I think he'll do a great job.
Always smiling, that guy.
And I'll be
I hate you.
just out of curiosity, I'll be watching Nyland Green's career to see how he does, because
And guys, I wanted to make this announcement on here.
Oh, no.
I'm sure this is going to be a shock to everybody, but we are no longer able to hope that Nick Caraway can return, or Nick Scorton can return
Yeah.
to the Boilermakers.
Artist
Yeah.
formerly known as.
He's in the NFL now.
So on Sunday Night Football, when they say their name where they went to college, he's gonna say Purdue, right?
Yeah. It's whoever gave him the biggest bucks.
Yeah.
That's going to be the school that's paying a guy $100 million not to coach there.
Well, that's when like you see all these guys in basketball where it's like their 5th year at their 5th school, and
Yeah.
it's like if they're ever in the NBA, where they're gonna say like when they're introing them, where they're gonna from all these universities, like it's gonna be weird. There will come a day. Well, speaking of, do we want to talk basketball for a few, since things are going on with that?
The sport we're good at.
Hey, we're good at all sports. Just there's an ebb and a flow.
Yes. Highs and lows.
Oh, whatever you want to tell yourself.
Let's talk about Omar Meyer. What do you guys think? I asked Chris this already, but you guys drinking the Kool-Aid? You guys like
gets me all hot.
Freshman guard has a first name. It's no.
Wait, I don't even know what that's a reference of.
Oscar Mayer Wiener.
Don't lie.
Oscar
That's
Mayer.
not even Dylan.
He has a first name. It's OSCAR.
All right.
Okay,
Whatever.
yeah.
No, that was a good one. No, dude, I'm stoked. That dude.
Ooh, he's good.
That's a grown man playing a children's game.
The fact that Braden's not going to have to shoulder not that he had to shoulder everything, but like he's going to have some help. Like he's, he can breathe when he goes out. He's probably going to be able to like sit out for more than 2 minutes a game, which would be cool for him.
Yeah.
But for a guy like Braden, I don't see him sitting out more than 2 minutes a game.
All right. Well, you know what? It was just a thought. All right.
Well, and but people are already saying like, okay, yeah, like the starting 5's locked now. It's going to be him. It's going to be Braden. I'm still not convinced, and maybe I'm just too much of a naysayer. But like, it's one thing to go play in the under-19 games and drop 30 points multiple times, which is very impressive. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't do that. I could only probably drop 20.
I hate you, Frank.
It's another thing to do this against D1 talent. Like it's just I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm just saying I'll believe it when I see him play 2 or 3 games.
It's also something to do it, at South Dakota State, when you're the main show, when there's one game that you get up for like Alabama, is that, how's Clough going to do? I think the only 3 guys locked in are Braden, Fletch, and TKR.
Agreed.
I could see Clough or Jacobson starting. I could see Cox, Harris, or Meyer starting. Nothing's going to surprise me.
Well, I mean, Clough has played Power 5, though. He played at Washington State.
That's true.
Yeah, so he does have that experience. But he's Meyer. The thing that impresses me most from a scoring standpoint is his step back, like his ability to drive and then just step right back, and the confidence to shoot the 3. And watching the highlights, I didn't see much of that, so that was kind of surprising. But I want to see, like, and I haven't watched the whole game, but I want to see his ability to just kind of run a read and react offense and kind of see how well he does. But I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid all the way. Like, I think he's going to be a really good player.
You've mixed the Kool-Aid. You've put the Kool-Aid powder in the water. You've mixed it, and it's sitting in the fridge.
Yeah, like I'm aware that it's there, and it's just kind of chilling. And when I get thirsty, I'll drink it, but not until until I'm thirsty. It's kind of how I feel. But
fix it in the fridge. Make sure you shake it up when you get it out because it might settle a little bit.
Can you do that motion one more time there, Russ?
Also, I don't know if anybody knows, my ceiling fan was making a very obnoxious noise, and I threw a roll of tape at it, and it launched it. And I may have broken a window pane.
Man, that's bold throwing tape at your.
Yeah, no one ever accused me of being smart. Like,
that is 100%.
Hey, what do you all think about the guy? Are you guys had what are your thoughts?
It's not going to be a bad addition.
No. I think I definitely think I'm in that same boat, right? Like, it's not against D1 talent, but you're playing against the top players from their respective countries, and to drop 30 plus a game in 2 games is still pretty freaking good.
He's the leading scorer in that tournament.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. But that being said, things change when you come back over to the U.S. and are playing in D1 college basketball games, playing against, the likes of, the Alabamas, the Dukes, stuff like that. I think he's going to be great. Yeah, he's not a bad addition. And I'm cautiously optimistic with him.
So if he makes the all-tournament team, I think the last two guys we had make the FIBA U19 all tournament team. You know who those two guys were? I know Frank does.
I want to say it was Edie and Jaden. Or
Yeah.
So if he makes the all tournament team, I'm going to get a little excited.
Yeah.
Well, we have another player playing over there who hasn't gotten as much exposure, or definitely not as much media attention. But we're seeing clips of Daniel Jacobson. Don't know if you all have seen those, but if so, what have you all thought about what we're seeing from him?
I'm super excited.
Outstanding.
I'm very, very, very excited. One, he looks clean after coming back from his injury. Two, he's doing everything I'd hoped he would do. Now, again, same argument can be made. Playing against the competition, but for right now, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on him.
Yeah,
I think he was healthy at the end of last season. But go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just saying. I think he's really raw. Like obviously he's 7'4", so that's great. But yeah, I think that he has a lot of potential, and I think that he could develop into a very, very solid either role player or starter by the end of the year this year. Dylan, you all right?
Yeah, no, it's just Nick Burst. His name was right there, and I was just chomping on it. That's how much I love Nick Burst.
Dylan, what do you think about Jacobson?
I think he's good.
You know who he is.
Yes, I know who he is. Golly.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited.
It was sad when he got hurt.
I saw I think it was an Illinois fan on Twitter, and he posted like a bunch of highlights of both of those guys, and he was like, "This isn't going to be very fun, is it?"
That's funny.
Yeah, the thing I love about Jacobson in this tournament too is he's taken a lot of contact. He's taken a lot of really physical hits and popped right back up. So that's, to me, that I know again it's not Big Ten, but a hit is a hit, and getting knocked on your rear is getting knocked on your rear and getting back up. Like, so I think that's been huge. And the fact that, I mean, he had 5 blocks last game. Like if he can impact, just a smidgen on our rebounding or our blocking, plus you add Oscar Clef in there coming on rebounding. That was some of our biggest weaknesses last year, right? Was our post defense and our rebounding.
Russ, you're so smart.
He solves both of those problems. So, question here that I'm going to toss out to the group of the guys returning on the basketball team. So players who have played in a Purdue jersey, and we're going to count Daniel Jacobson in there too because he has. Who needs to take the biggest step up for Purdue to realistically get back to a Final Four this year?
Dan Johnson is in the house.
Dan Johnson in the house.
Dan sent me a bunch of
Happy
hilarious
4th of July to you
photos.
too, Dan. Said Jan.
Dan's my favorite Johnson.
Yeah, I confronted him about that today, Dylan. And he goes, how many did he show you? And I was like, how many?
There's more in the back pocket.
One. Yeah.
Better watch what you say, Russ. Better be
So
nice to Dylan.
back on topic, I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna have to scoot here soon. I think it's gonna be Jakari Harris. Is one of, not that he played bad, like Frank and I discussed before he went live. Not that he played terrible towards the end of the season and in the tournament, but I definitely think that he can be that second unit defensive pest that can be useful because, again, it's the common theme for the last 4 or 5 years. We're doing hockey line changes for substitutions because we have so many damn players that are good. And to have somebody that is a pest in that second unit that can lead that second unit is going to be big because that's what we saw last year, right? Is when some of those second unit guys came in, there wasn't a huge talent drop off, but the defense wasn't as intense and things just looked a little clunky. I think this is an opportunity for Harris to really grasp the opportunity and set himself up well for his junior season, honestly, when there might be some more time and more opportunity.
Chris, I hate that you have to leave us.
I know.
We
Sorry,
love
boys.
you. A round of applause. Thank you for coming by, Chris. Thank
Hey,
you so much.
do it again next week.
I mean,
I hate you, Russ.
If we can string 2 podcasts straight nowadays, that'd be a miracle.
Yeah, no, I know, right? All right, you boys have a good night. I'll keep watching.
Love you,
Hey, man.
Chris.
See ya.
Hey, man.
He didn't say it back.
He will literally keep
Love you.
watch y'all because he is a watchman.
Huh?
He's a
He's a
police
watchman.
officer. He's
He's a
Oh.
watchman. Yeah.
Play
Can we-
baseball in the
Can
day.
we talk? We probably can't talk about what happened to him this morning, but that's hilarious. What he sent in the group chat. I wish we
yeah.
Maybe
could
the
sell
person
that
that did it's
story.
watching.
Should
Yeah,
have asked
maybe,
him if we
yeah.
could talk about that because that's hilarious.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask him next week if he wants.
Chris, if
Uh,
you're watching, can we tell that story because it's funny?
Yeah, drop it in
Text
the
us.
comments. Yeah.
No, Frank, it's got to be Jacobson, right? Like, especially if you
Ooh.
put him in there, because I
Jacobson
think
sold Chris's license plate.
hey, well, he had to bend
Never mind.
really far down. That's like
Allegedly.
a full squat. I mean, but no, like Jahari Harris, CJ Cox are definitely, they need to take a step forward, but they contributed last year, right? Like they actually were pretty solid, especially at times, starting. And so I think Jacobson's the guy that, if you aren't going to pick somebody that's like a Clough or a Meyer, you can't pick somebody that's not on the roster. If you pick somebody that's been here last year, it's got to be Jacobson. It's got to be, what is that jump? What does Brandon Brantley do with his next developmental big? Like what happens? Because if he's half of what we think he's going to be hyped up to be, plus you put Clough and Mayer, I mean, this is going to be, I know the four of us have dabbled in college football video game. And I think it's going to be like looking at your roster and seeing all these stars and going, dang, let's not mess this up. Like,
You mean when a guy goes to Miami and just so happens to have one of the best classes and did nothing for it? Good times.
Must be an inside joke that I don't
Just
get.
no, I took the Miami job and somehow they already had the best recruits on the board, and I was like, go. Then I retired. Went out on a bang.
and then he recruited 0 players the next year.
Yeah. Recruiting on that game is not very fun. Like I don't find it fun. I wish I could skip it.
It's kind of overwhelming. I had a friend over earlier today, and we were doing like a Florida Atlantic dynasty, and each week he'd be like, "Oh, let's go check the recruiting board," and I just hand him the controller. I'd be like, "Yeah, you got it, boss."
Russ loves it. Russ
It's
thinks
the only thing I'm good at in that game. I had the number 1 class the last 2 years. Like it's the only thing I'm good at is recruiting. I
when
get
you
whacked
have
by pretty much everybody. Like
when you have casual Big Ten, aka Kent, who is just he's too good at the game.
and then also when all the people you beat end up quitting the dynasty, like
did that many people quit? Oh, that was a dig on me, wasn't it? I caught that afterward. Anyway, boys, I mean, we had a little solid podcast there. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, so,
I want to close.
do we have
on
any?
a couple
Do we have
things.
any differing opinions? I'm just curious on who needs to step up next season.
Oh, okay.
Russ
the
needs to
returners?
step up.
So we have Jacobson, we have Jakari. The 2 remaining are CJ Cox and Burgess, right?
That's who I would say, CJ Cox. I think that he showed. I mean, his defense incredible. Had a really good defense. He showed really great spurts of just being able to, just pull up from anywhere and drain a 3. Really exciting player to watch. Really, he's like the crowd energizer, I feel like. But if there's no way to get more consistent with that, that'd be great. And then I'm interested too. Obviously, he's not a returning player, but and I can't. Is it Liam McNeely? Is that his name? The guy from Northern Florida.
Liam Murphy, yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Who's Liam McNeely? McNeely. That's
Liam
the guy
McNeely was the guy who played for UConn last season. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. But anyway, Murphy. Yeah, he was a 42% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
North Florida.
And, yeah, he's played a lot of basketball too. So.
Yeah, when you said Jacobson, Frank, like I was like, oh yeah, Jacobson and Murphy are on this team too. Like this is ridiculous. I do not envy Painter trying to put together the minutes balance, and the starting lineup's one thing, and it's fun to like kind of debate that. But then you think about, dude, there's like 11, 12 guys on this roster that deserve minutes.
Is Murphy? Is he dealing with an injury? I thought I read that somewhere, but I could have been a dream. I'll check.
Could have been a dream. That's what they all say.
Yeah, but that's he's a really, really good shooter. He's more of a catch and shoot guy, if I remember right from the tape I watched earlier in the summer.
He'll be a really good like post up in the corner or outside, and if like Braden's driving or he can't get it to the post, they draw enough people in a certain part of the floor and just kick it out to him, and he's got a wide open 3.
So kind of filling that Miles Coleman role a little bit. Just yeah.
Shout out to Wake Forest.
Yeah, shout out Wake Forest. Yeah, I hope Purdue plays Wake Forest. That'll be fun because they are going to be in that tournament, the Baha Mar tournament. So we'll see what happens there. But other question, of the guys who left, and that includes graduating, who are we going to miss the most?
Caleb first.
Yeah, the elf skits I'm gonna miss. And I mean, and he's a very good basketball player. Yeah, gonna miss that. But like the elf
Well,
skits are rad.
There was a time last year where Purdue kind of had dipped a little bit and was struggling, and I feel like he really stepped up to the plate and took on like a really solid leadership role. And yeah, I think he was a good glue guy. He was, and just gonna miss him not being on the court.
Did you say guys like plural graduating? Like was he not the only graduate that we had?
I was making sure there wasn't like a walk on that I was forgetting. That's why I said that. But I just mean like of the guys who left, including those who graduated.
Oh, like Heidi and Colvin too. Okay.
Yeah, Heidi, Colvin, yeah, as well. So
Yeah.
Waddell as well.
Don't question Frank Russ. He knows what he's talking
I would say, I would say the Heidi Colvin roles, like what do we have an athletic wing that can fill that role? Like, yeah, we got shooters. Yeah, we got a great guard coming in. We have an embarrassment of riches at the big position again. But how do we feel like, do we have that? Is CJ Cox kind of like that hype role, that, transition two-way player that can get above the rim and get down up and down like, do we even need that role with what we're going to be good at this year? That's kind of what I'll be watching for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's both those guys, Heidi and Colvin, their biggest attribute by far was their athleticism. I was a little bit higher on Heidi than I was Colvin. Don't think that's a secret to anyone who listens to the show regularly. But yeah, I think that if you morph those two guys, it's just going to be that role is what we're going to miss. And then who knows, like Liam Murphy may have that. Just haven't seen enough yet. But I think there's enough athleticism on this team that, and we haven't mentioned his name tonight. Antoine West is looking pretty good. And he doesn't look like a freshman either. Like in a lot of ways, he's pretty strong. He's pretty fast. And what is he? 6'4", 6'5"? So maybe there's a hint of that there, but yeah, I mean, talk about trying to find minutes. We haven't even talked about him yet, and we have Jack Bender coming off of a red shirt too. So,
oh yeah,
gosh, and he was a sharpshooter in high school.
If you're talking about getting above the rim from an alley-oop perspective, having a 7'4" guy now that's healthy would be an easy little target for. It might not be as cool looking as seeing a guy that's 6 inches shorter than him jump up and do a dunk, but. Or I guess more like 10 inches shorter because he's 7'4". Good night. But yeah, no. So did you guys see? I want to talk about a couple things. First thing is, did you guys see the whole? I know we talked about the Rafael Davis talking about the 3-on-3
3v3
talk and the college football or college basketball game possibly coming out with how popular college football has been. What are your guys' thoughts on the three? So like, if you guys didn't see it on Twitter. Rafael Davis posted a cover of the college basketball game. I keep saying football, college basketball game. It was him, AJ Hammonds, and Biggie, and said, "Who's going to beat the three of us?" And so people started posting, and then he put these rules up and said, "No, you can't just like pick an all-time three guys from Purdue. It's got to be three guys that were at Purdue at the same time." And people were still kind of bodying him a little bit. So, like, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think that three is unbeatable with him, AJ, and Biggie, or what three would you put together? Especially in the Painter era, let's just say Painter area. What
Painter
era would you put together that played together to go up against that three?
Ivy, Edie.
Ooh, that third.
The third one's going to be tough.
Ivy
Williams, Trevion,
yeah, with his passing.
You imagine Trevion and Biggie going up 1-on-1 against each other?
I mean, Biggie gets the edge in that matchup for sure, I think.
I like Frank's. That's a good one.
TKR maybe? No, we need another. That's too much post. Man, that's tough.
I mean, they have two, but he's got Biggie and AJ, so his team's all post.
And there's no Lance Jones didn't play with Ivy. Maybe Sasha. Just throw Sasha in there to stretch the floor a bit. Like, put Sasha on the perimeter, let Ivy and Edie go to work, and then you have him as kind of an outlet. Like, I'm not up to date on my 3v3 strategy, just to be clear, but like Rafael is obviously going to be matching up on Jaden Ivey and trying to give him havoc when he's trying to run a pick and roll. Biggie's not the quickest on his feet. Rebounding is going to be a problem, but just outlet to Sasha, who's going to drain 44-45% from three.
I'm going to go with
like that
Robbie Hummel, Juwan Johnson, and Chris Kramer.
Oh, Chris Kramer. Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
I was going to say
legit.
that was the big
I'm not
debate.
just saying that. I was gonna say
The big debate was the baby boilers, right? Was Etwan, JJ, and Robbie. So, and people were talking about, and the big debate Ray came back with was, well, who's going to guard Biggie in the post? Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But
who's going to guard AJ in the post? Yeah.
What I came back with Ray fell on was, I said, so who is Biggie going to guard when he's on defense, right? Is he going to keep up with JJ? Is he going to keep up with Robbie? Is AJ going to keep up with either one of those? So I think that's going to be a game where you trade 3 for 2, because that's a lot of times what can happen in some of these 3v3 games. If you try to go too big and the other team gets athletic enough, they could just basically run a kind of a motion style offense with 3 guys and just always get someone open for 3. And it's fine if you dunk every time you get the ball, because we're going to trade you for 3 points on our end, and the game's going to be over pretty fast.
And the reason I went with Jaden Ivey is just, I feel like in a 3v3, you have more space and you just need someone who can just put the ball on the ground, get to the basket.
Well, and if you go with the baby boilers, Robbie Hummel is a gold medalist in the 3v3 competition.
That's why I picked him.
So
it's true. Yeah. Really good point. Forgot about that. Yeah, that's tough. And not that I disagree with him. Like that's going to be a hard team to beat. It's going to be a unique team too, because you basically have 2 guys who are automatic in the post and a lockdown defender who can get hot from 3. So
now, if you want to get really specific, and if Raphael was like, okay, it's us 3, but it's Raphael against that game against Michigan State, and then AJ Hammond's like in his prime, or I was trying to think of a game where AJ went off, but I couldn't think of some off the top
Nebraska at home where he had like 9 dunks.
Oh yeah.
So like so I feel like Trey Kaufman-Renn is one of the most underappreciated bigs, because when you look at AJ Hammonds and you think, man, like that guy was dominant, and like what did he average, Russ? You'll probably know 15 points per game or something like that.
Yeah, he was actually on the lower, because when we went through the bigs, he was on the lower end of the recent bigs. Yeah, because he had some big pop games, but he also had he disappeared a lot.
Yeah, I mean in TKR, he averaged north of 20 this past season.
Yep.
But I think it's because he is the first big we've had after Zach Edey, so we just are constantly subconsciously playing that comparison game, and we're used to a guy going off for 30 every single night, and 20 just doesn't seem like
I remember getting questioned a little bit too on this pod, saying TKR was going to be our leading scorer last year.
But he's not the face of the team either. I mean, not to make this about the Pacers, but like Tyrese Halliburton didn't lead the Pacers in scoring last season. Nor did he make an all-star team, and he had a teammate who did, but it was always Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. It's the same concept. It's just this underappreciated guy who just goes off for 20 plus every night. And it's not that he's not appreciated, it's just he's constantly being compared in my mind to Zach Edey, and it just doesn't seem like he gets as much credit as he should. But yeah, what an awesome player.
Who would you say our best perimeter defender is the last 2 to 3 seasons, Frank?
Best perimeter defender last 2 seasons. I want to say Lance Jones. Or are you counting like this season? Like
no, because I'm kind of going a direction with this.
Okay. Perimeter defender.
We're seeing the brain in action, folks.
Probably Braden. Yeah, I think Braden.
Okay. So if you go strength on strength, right, and you go, okay, Ray D picked a big 3, right, literally a size 3 with AJ and Biggie. What if you do Braden, TKR, and Edey against Raphael, Biggie, and AJ?
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Braden, but I think Ray D would give him a lot of trouble. I saw Raphael Davis give NBA players a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So like, no, I mean, I just feel like that he's the one of the few guys that could shut down everything you're trying to do by just locking up Braden.
And do you think Biggie shuts down, let's say Trey Kaufman and AJ does anything against Edey? Or do you think they can get one of those guys?
No, AJ is not doing much against Edey. And TKR is going to make life hard for Biggie for sure. Like Biggie's faster, he's a little more agile, and he can step out and hit the 3.
So run the numbers. Who wins that game?
It's close. Like Ray D's team is good, but like, not saying they can't be beat, but like, and especially from a synergy standpoint too. Like that's
Damon, Dylan, who you got? Which three? Ray D or Braden with TKR and Edie?
Can you repeat that again?
I'm gonna go
So
Ray.
you got Rafael Davis with AJ and Biggie versus Braden, Trey Coffin-Wren, and Zach Edey.
See, but then they got
Oh, Braden to Edie, is that the pick and roll situation? They're gonna destroy him.
well, and that's my
Especially is this? Hold on, my question to this is this 3v3? Is this half court or is this full court?
Oh, it's always
There's a
half
reason.
court. Full court.
Because if this is full court, AJ Hammonds is going to get tired, and he love AJ Hammonds, but he was Painter said one of his like most talented players he's ever seen, but also one of the laziest at times as well. Love you, AJ. So if this is full court, I'm picking Zach and Braden and everybody else.
That's a really good clarifying question though. But yeah, I think half court, right?
Yeah.
Do you
So
guys have you watched that Big Three, Ice Cube's Big Three league?
A little bit.
No.
I've watched a little bit. It's interesting. It's
chippy.
different.
It gets chippy.
That's what I saw. It was Dwight Howard, was it, and then Michael
Lance
Beasley,
Stevenson was in there. He's
Lance Stevenson, like
yeah,
were
scrapping it.
brawling, like punching each other, and I was like, oh, maybe I should watch.
Well, who's handling the ball in Rafel's team? That's what I want to know.
It has to
him?
be really who?
Yeah.
It's not Biggie or AJ.
Yeah, and I mean, and not that
I still remember when
it just
Biggie would
wasn't
take
his-
shots at the perimeter, and the whole Mackey would be like, and if it went in, it was like, yeah, you made it.
Yeah, no, that is how it went. I remember his freshman year, there was kind of a groan when he shot a 3 for
Mhm.
sure. His sophomore year, not so much, but when he chucked up a 3, there was always just this kind of like from the crowd, because his shot selection wasn't great. But yeah, that would be. We'll never know, unfortunately, but I would love to see that happen. Like just to watch those 6 guys go at it.
Okay, so current roster 3v3 based on what you know on these guys: Braden, Fletcher, and Clough, or CJ Cox, Meyer, and TKR.
I don't know enough about these guys yet, Russ.
I was
Especially when
gonna
you
say,
start
I'm-
doing in. But I'm gonna choose Braden more often than not because of his ability to make guys around him a lot better and to find open players and to create his own shot. So
I second what Frank said.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah, but
Danny, that's clutch. Carson, a 3v3 player, he would probably tear it up in a 3v3 game.
but
Dude could
here's
get
the
up.
thing, because I thought about Carson, but then I'm like, who would I pair him with?
Evan Boudreaux and
And no gel, right?
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Before
I
just
his
tried to
free throw
think,
shot got weirder.
What about like
What about like
Vince,
Carson, Harms,
Vince and Dakota? What about Carson, Vince, and Dakota?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, or
Ooh,
Carson,
that's
Vincent
nasty.
Haas.
That'd be a nasty squad that could run and gun and hit shots. Like,
I partied with Dakota's
Carson,
cousin.
Dakota,
one time.
Haas. Ooh, that'd be.
oh yeah,
Yeah, because then you just have a one team's strength is the other team's biggest weakness. Ooh, dynamic. That'd be a lot of fun. Because
So EA developers, if you're watching, create a 3v3 component of your game.
yeah, do this for
and
us, please.
include all-time players on squads.
We know you're
we
listening.
can hash this out.
Dude, I partied with Dakota Mathias' cousin. Can't remember his name, but his nickname was Bronco. he was awesome, dude. The
That checks
Mathias
out.
is
A
good.
Midwest cowboy. Somebody's got to do that, right?
Yeah. And his
I ate
cousin
breakfast
Bronco.
with Dakota Mathias. It was kind of strange because it was like a season ticket holder thing, and it was like me and 6 elderly people and Dakota Mathias.
Oh,
It
so
was-
you,
it was-
Russ, and 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay,
Dan
last
said he
question I wanna
graduated-
hit on oh, sorry. Go ahead. Dylan.
Well, no,
My
Dan
bad.
said he graduated in 2011. So you're the oldest by a mile.
Is your brain working okay, sir?
What do you mean?
We're
No,
twins.
You guys are twins?
He was making an old joke.
No, but you guys are twins.
Yeah, they're twins. Yeah.
How am I just now finding this out?
I'm
how's-
older.
Oh my god.
I'm older by about an hour and a half, sir.
Or like, how is he so much more handsome?
Jeez, really? An hour and a half?
Yeah,
Not all twins are
Holy
twins
cow.
are identical.
it was a rough pregnancy.
Your poor mother.
Yes. No. Yeah. It was. I mean, not to get like too down, or something, but there was a spot where they had to make the decision whether if something goes down, are they saving the baby or the mama?
Whoa.
So,
Oh wow. Dang.
Yeah. But no, I was born like 11:30 something at night, and he was born around 1 in the
Yeah,
morning.
so you guys do have different birthdays.
Oh.
I thought that was the
Yep,
case.
different
Yeah.
birthdays.
Dan, I just want you to
Interesting.
know, whenever I make an old joke on Russ, it does not reflect on you. You're young and spry. I don't know what
Russ is
happened.
elderly in his personality.
He can't wait till my 40th birthday when he gets the call, and he's still in his 30s, and I'm 40. Yeah.
See, I'm in the last year of my 20s, and that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, and you still needed a nap today, so your 30s.
I did need a pre-podcast. Now I did a lot of stuff with the horses today. I was in the sun and I was
A
sleeping.
lot of horsing around. Yeah.
I was horsing, new boot goofing. Thank you, Dan. Love you, Dan. You're my
Yeah,
favorite.
That's so weird, guys.
Johnson.
We haven't heard from Cody today. That's
Cody!
Yeah,
Hey.
so
Hope
I
he's
was
all right
wondering,
out there.
I was wondering where Cody is. Yeah, Cody,
He
check
probably-
in with us. Let us know you're doing okay, man.
Here we are, the first time in like 6 months, and we're like, "Where the hell's Cody?"
Yeah.
I posted one question in the thread.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of questions, but one question I want to get to at the end here. Going back to football, if you had one wish/bold prediction, and I'm not saying like wish like we go 12-0 win the Natty, but like what like realistic goal would you have that you like to see for this year for this football season?
I want the bucket back. I really want the
That's a good one.
bucket back. Yeah, that's just my main goal this year is get the bucket.
Bold prediction. Bold.
Frank or Damon, you got one? I
I've
go
got
with
one,
mine
but
first.
I want to.
Did you call him
wanna-
Drank instead of Frank?
Nope.
I think you said
Why would I say
Drank. and
Drake? Where did that
Damon.
even come from?
Gonna buy you a drink.
Yeah, Russ, if you want to go on and go, I want to attach a number to mine.
Okay, so I mentioned him earlier as far as somebody that's returning, and he's our only returning starter.
Dang it.
I want to see,
Crazy
I wanna see
legs.
I want to see Mockbee get the number 2 all time in rushing yards as a Boilermaker.
All right,
'cause he's
spoiler
stuck
alert, that was
around.
going to be mine too.
He's stuck through all this. He
Frank's like, God,
obviously he had a rough year last year, only playing 6 games, but he actually averaged more yards per game last year than he did his sophomore year. So he needs, I think, 875 yards to get the second all time. If he goes crazy and has like a 1,200 yard season, he could actually threaten all stop for number 1 all time. But I would like to.
His freshman year, he had 968 yards.
Yeah,
and he
that-
wasn't even the starter day one. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
really this. He didn't become the
Yeah.
starter until like the 4th or 5th week.
Yeah.
It's funny that we're talking about Mockbee because I randomly thought about today that huge breakoff run he had against Minnesota a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
They
Won us the
clinched that game. Yeah, just
Yeah.
would not go down.
And that was.
I remember that was when he like
right after
to
that.
me he struck me as more as like almost looking like a little bit of a wiry fullback because he had like his jersey was kind of seemed oversized. They'd gotten pulled out, and he just was lumbering down the field.
It's the number
I saw
two.
more as like just this strong dude that wouldn't go down, and it's like now he's got an agility to his game that's kind of unpredictable as well.
45.
I was terrified he was going to fumble it because he was carrying so many guys with him, like, and they were coming from behind, like
And he
trying
was
to
fighting
punch
off.
it
Too. He
out.
didn't have both hands on. He was
Yeah,
like, kinda
yeah,
fighting
I
off
was-
his arm. Yeah.
And those are the runs where like you're like, yeah, we're gonna win, and the ball pops out, like that's how.
And
it
that's
always
so
happens.
Purdue football. Like, yeah, there
Yeah,
it goes.
yeah.
Ah, I have a
I
video.
was screaming like, just go out of bounds, just go out of bounds. But I'm glad he didn't listen to me.
I have a video from when we played Louisville at Lucas Oil in Brom's first game as Purdue head coach. And shoot, who was it? Was it Knox? I think it was Knox. He takes the kickoff.
Markel Jones, yeah.
No, it was Markel because he took it was a kickoff return, and he's running, and you see and hear the pads pop, and in the video I'm like, yeah, and then you see the ball shoot up, and I'm like, F word. I'll have to find it and set it in the chat. That's a classic. It's just like, yeah, and it's like, no.
Who's that? Who's that school
dude.
Danny's talking about? Notre Dame. Who's Notre Dame?
Notre
could?
Dame.
He
yeah,
means
not
Notre
sure.
Dame.
Well, I mean, he said you were his favorite, so I can't let that slide.
I have to stick
Notre
up for
Dame.
Dan. It's sometimes
Another play that this wasn't like a goof, but another play that I think about all the time is Garrett Miller's tippy toe catch against Michigan State. Like I don't. He was like fully extended, catching the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the craziest catches I've ever seen in my whole life.
Or Russ, the game that we went to, what was it, the
Missouri game,
Missouri,
Sparks
where
touchdown
they
that got
catch off the
overturned.
helmet? I was talking about the catch off the
Oh,
helmet.
yeah, okay.
Same game, right? It was a game where both quarterbacks threw for like 500 yards. That was an exciting game to go to,
Yeah.
even though Purdue didn't win. But yeah, David
That was when
Blau
Drew
and,
Lock was there, right?
Drew Lock, yeah.
Yeah.
Both threw
Drew
for like
Lock.
500 yards. So it's just like it was just a complete air raid of a game. But it's fun. It was a fun game to go to because it was just constant
Oh,
excitement.
you guys went to that game?
Yeah, we went
No,
up.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
Russ
We
almost
went
didn't
disc
get
golfing
in.
before with some and met some
We
Missouri
did,
fans
yeah.
before the game.
Yeah, ran into some Missouri fans on the disc golf course, but Russ actually almost didn't get into the game because they scanned his ticket 2 times, and then they were like, "Oh, it says your ticket's already been scanned." And he's like, "Well, that's because you just scanned it 2 times, and then you had to go stand in this super long line to talk to the ticket people. It was like halfway down the block." And I'm sitting in the stands, just like, "Russ, where you at, man?" And he's like, "I'm waiting in this line."
That's Russ luck.
Dude,
I mean,
I remember it was that Michigan game or Michigan State game that I was just talking about. When I got to the gate, nobody could pull up StubHub. It had crashed for like everybody, so nobody could pull up their tickets. And so the people working the gate were just like, "Yeah, we know StubHub's crashed. Just come in." Like they didn't look at my ticket. They didn't want to know. They didn't want any proof, dude. Anybody could have gotten in that game at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they probably figured if you're already there, then you probably have tickets. So, because who's going to show up and just be like, I'm going to bet on StubHub crashing right now and hopes that I can just get in for free. You know?
I mean,
or maybe
really
like somebody try to slide in behind somebody. You never know.
That is a major issue. At least it was at Louisville games, Frank, down here where we're at. Louisville football, I think they fixed it a little bit, but they were notorious for having terrible Wi-Fi, terrible connection, and having terrible backups at the gates because they couldn't get in and they couldn't pull their ticket up. So they actually had to send out messages, especially to season ticket holders, to say, hey, download a screenshot of your ticket before you show up to the game because you are probably not going to be able to do it at the game. And they were
I always just add them to my wallet. So
Apple Wallet.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Apple stuff and Apple products, but Apple Wallet has been clutch.
I don't like that Apple. It's too fancy. Anyway, this is all why they need to bring back, and this is going to make me sound old, Russ. This is why they need to bring back printed tickets.
Yeah,
like
my ticket wall agrees with you back.
That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I have a bunch of collages of different Purdue tickets, like hockey like I love the art that goes on them, and especially Purdue Creative. They're a great bunch. I feel like I say that every episode, but they deserve it. Like you got to bring back the printed tickets.
I will say, when I had basketball season tickets, getting your tickets in the mail, it was just this giant sheet, and you got to punch them all out.
Yeah.
Like that was the best day of the year.
It was like Christmas.
Like looking at every ticket, it was like, oh yeah, Vince
well,
is on that. Yeah.
Purdue football used to send out pins every year, like little pins. And one when it was the anniversary of the Rose Bowl game, they sent out this really cool Rose Bowl logo with like the train track that looked like wings. And my uncle growing up always used to give them to me. And I think Dame Dog may have.
You just made Damon really mad, dude.
Damon, I haven't seen Damon move that long. You can tell Damon. You can tell he's lost a lot of weight. He bounced up like nobody's business.
What?
What? I'm gonna get you with your good old guy again here. Can you imagine paying $1,000, $2,000 plus for the Final Four 2 years ago to go see Purdue play and then not even getting a physical ticket?
That sucks. And then
anyway, this is one of my favorite physical tickets. Let's kind of.
I have that one framed.
This is from the Ohio State.
Put your hand behind it. Oh, okay. Yeah, is that? Yeah, there we go. That helps. Was that the Ohio State game?
Yep, sure is.
Yeah, I have mine, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like
section 118, row 3, seat 4, $50.
I was in 105. Yeah, mine looks like someone printed it.
Just the microphone.
Like
that reminded me of a MasterCard commercial, Damon. The ticket, $50. The value of seeing Purdue spank Ohio State, priceless.
Priceless.
There you go.
Everything else.
Bob Rohrman, reach out to me if you want to, so we can jip another.
He's no longer
hit the field goal.
He is deceased.
Oh,
well, I'm sure he's got family.
I'm sure he's got family. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Boys, felt good to be back. I like.
You tried to end this like 30 minutes ago, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why. Right after I said that, in my head, I'm like, "What are you doing?"
You're like, "Well, we did a good job." But it was like 36 minutes. I was like, "Okay."
I know. Well, and I looked up at the timer. I'm like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "What? What is wrong with you?" But no, it's good to see all your lovely mugs again. Even Russ. You know, I even missed Russ, even though we talk every day in the group chat. It's another thing to see our faces together. Russ, did you miss me?
Yes. Yeah.
Such a jerk. But we had I don't know, we had a little sabbatical, had a little breather there. You know, life happens. Chris had twins. Russ is a father of like 10. You know, it's just that
I thought you were talking about grandchildren or something.
Well, and great grandchildren. You got to count the greats in there. And we all had a little bit of life happen. I feel like all at once where, some of us moved, some of us were doing this, that, the third, some of us started new jobs and careers and blah, 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 blah. But it's good to be back.
And
then
the Pacers did their thing, which kept
Yeah,
us
and that
busy
was a
for little while,
distraction for
too.
you guys.
Yeah.
Go Cavs.
Should we announce that we're probably going to be on Wednesdays now for a little bit, or like it's going to be random throughout the week because somebody got a job that interferes with the typical meeting time?
I did. It's my summer job. I can't just sit around and not do nothing in the summer. I get antsy. So shout out to my homies at the nursing home. Yeah, it's Russ lives there. No, I work Tuesday nights till 10:30. So yeah, we can't do Tuesdays. So it'll either be Wednesday or any other night during the week. We will decide those hopefully by Monday each week, and we'll post it to our Twitter, which is at Boiler Express _. So keep an eye out there.
Or it might just be really late on a Tuesday. We'll do it like Howard Stern style.
Late night Boilers, baby.
Who's getting naked? I'm not. I'm out.
Luckily, it's like chest up for everybody. So,
I thought that's why you lost all that weight, Damon. Was to have
That's why I'm working on it. And then in Boiler Express fashion, we never gave our.
Russell, please. This is a thing.
We never gave our sponsors a shout out. So really quick, just want to shout out the College Huddle. It's the network we're part of. If you're interested, if you just want to follow up with college sports in general, if you're interested in any team out there, they're probably on the College Huddle. So you can check them out. And then we are also, thankful for our sponsors. Martin Vintage, you can use code BXP at checkout for 10% off at martinvintage.com. We have college basketball analytics, CBB analytics, and also Cincy Blitz boards. Great game, great family game, great tailgating game. So make sure you guys check them out and get your Blitz board today. They can do any design, whether it's Purdue related or not. They can cook up just about anything. So good stuff.
Mine's over here. I need to put it back up. Well, I need to get one with the new logo on it. That we haven't used on here either. We still got the old logo on here. But no, and thank you to everyone who's stuck around. Everyone that's here tonight, Vinny, Travis, Dan, all my favorites. Shout out to Vinny.
Young Dan.
Vinny's here a lot, and Vinny's one of those dudes who I grew up watching, and I like to remind him that because he's old. And to be friends with him and Stu, Stu even texted me a week or two ago, and he goes, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Where the hell's the podcast been?" I'm like, we'll be back. Life happens. So it's good to have guys like that, and I think we have a really good core group of listeners who put up with us. And so I know Eric and the rest of the College Huddle are happy to have us back, hopefully.
Just Travis just said Omer Mayer plays Friday morning at 5:45 a.m. So
I missed that one.
Gross. Not gonna watch that one.
Boiler Nation's gonna be up. A lot of us are off work that day too, so really no excuse to miss that
For
one.
America. Everyone have a wonderful 4th of July. Don't blow your hands off. I hope Terry's wheelchair's charged. Frank, did you get that one?
First, Terry.
No,
You don't know that one, Frank?
Went right over my head. Yeah.
Man, so one of us send that in the group chat. Good Lord.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'd love to.
Who was it? Justin Tuck that blew off his hand lighting fireworks?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I know it was. No, it was a guy on it was a new. Was it Pierce or Plaxico Burris?
Jason Pierre-Paul.
No, Plaxico Burris shot himself in the foot.
It was Jason Pierre-Paul. Yeah.
JPP. That's what it was.
Yeah, Plaxico Burris is the guy who shot himself with a
with his own gun.
Are the Giants the Georgia Bulldogs of the NFL?
Yeah, turning out to be good. What a run they've had, old Georgia. Do not ban your brother from the comments, Russell. That's saw that and I'm like, what did DJ16 do? Oh, that's Dan. How dare you? Dan, on behalf of the entire Boiler Express podcast, we formally apologize for the actions of Russ, and his actions do not reflect the rest of the podcast.
In my defense, it
no.
said put user in timeout. I didn't know it was going to say he's banned and the comments have been removed.
Yeah.
I love that they use the term timeout. Like that's just like, yeah, buddy.
Go
You're
sit in the
So,
corner.
like soft, and then it was like banned.
Dude, my dad would make me
Giant
put my nose in the
bandstand.
corner as a kid. Spent a lot of time in that corner. Rust, where did you get your hat? I like that hat.
Honestly, I think it was from the Hazel era, and I think Danny might have actually bought it for me. I don't know that I actually bought it myself.
If it's from the Hazel area, you got to fix your bill. You got to square it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Man.
Remember that Twitter account? There's an entire Twitter, and you got to wear a weird vest jacket.
No matter how hot it is outside.
Even when it's 95 degrees outside, yeah, you got
Black pants, that
and a
vest jacket, like had an American flag on the back and Purdue on the back. It was that guy was saying his
What a
wardrobe.
time.
I don't know what I want to be in. I wanted to be in the room when he went to the equipment guys, and he was like, "Listen, fellas, I need a jacket that also looks like a vest, that also has the train logo everyone hates on the front, with Purdue on the back and an American flag on the back, and I need it to be white, but I'm gonna wear black pants." Also, I need all my hats to be bent like a square. Like, and the equipment guys.
No, did you never see that famous video of him like talking about how he gets his hats like that?
Wasn't it like a military thing? Like his
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because he coached for some military. Yeah, he like walked through. how
Hazel's
he
a
does
cool
it.
dude. Don't get me wrong. Like football aside, I found Hazel to be a really cool guy, nice guy. Just wasn't the best head football coach.
Yeah.
But it's
Wasn't
super
the
cool.
worst.
Yeah, I mean, in program history, if we're talking, then he was indeed
Yeah,
the worst.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the worst.
That was I sat through every home game during those years, and the
It
one
was-
good
it
thing,
was brutal.
leg room. There was a lot of leg room. I didn't have to worry about nobody sitting all up in my
And-
business.
And you could pay
Yeah.
for a nosebleed and move down to the very front row. It was great.
Yeah,
Great
I hope
time.
the old people couple. The best thing about my seats are to my right. I have an old couple that are well into their late 70s, early 80s, and they're small. They don't take up a lot of room. They give me plenty of space, and they leave before halftime. It's just, it turns out to be a sweet deal. So I hope they're back next year. Yeah, any of you guys got Russ? Did you get season tickets this year for football?
I did not, and they have not stopped calling me from season tickets to now going, hey, we got these mini packages. Hey, we got like I'm kind of worried about what the turnout's going to look like because they have been hounding me like, you know, your car insurance, your car warranty's expired. You know, like those.
Well,
it's
they do
like-
that. They do that regardless.
Well,
so.
you're also a celebrity fan, so they got to have Russ in the seats because that'll bring other people. You're an influencer. That's it. You're a Purdue. Who's a company email. I know we're going on random tangents here, but remember we would get DMs a lot from these random networks and stuff, and they'd be like, "You're a Purdue influencer," and I'd be like, "Don't call me that." Like, don't ever use that terminology.
Not an influencer.
I don't influence. If I influence somebody, that's their fault. I mean, really, that's what happens via the podcast because I act like an idiot. What did Russ needs to charge his wheelchair? You have to ask Dean. Dean's your dad, right?
How are you seeing these? I thought I deleted them.
No, well, they're in this little thing.
Oh,
He's still alive and well over there. I don't know how it goes. I do. Hey, now, Russell, be nice to your brother. Golly, the rivalry of. Can we get Dan on the podcast someday? Dan, come on the podcast. I'll shoot him. Ban me. He went over to Facebook.
wow. All right, let's see here.
Oh, Daniel, I love you. You're the man. All right, everybody, we're back better than ever. If not Wednesday night, it'll be one night during the week, and you'll all be sitting at the edge of your chairs waiting anxiously. We love you all. We thank you for sticking with us. We're happy to be back. As another Purdue podcast is folded, we're still here, baby. All right, everyone, have a great night. Boiler up, hammer down, hail Purdue.
Pacers would have won if Halliburton had played.
Very true.